For thousands of years, humanity has been captivated by stories of lost civilizations. Among them, one stands out above all others: Atlantis. The very name sparks curiosity, wonder, and imagination. Even today, when our world is mapped and explored like never before, the idea that an entire civilization could vanish without leaving a trace captures our attention in a way that few other stories do. Atlantis is not just a tale, it is a mystery that challenges our understanding of history, geography, and human potential.
There is a huge amount of unrecorded human history beneath the ocean surface that we don't know very much about at all.
What is it about lost civilizations that captivates us so deeply? Perhaps it is the idea that humans once built societies far more advanced than we might imagine. Maybe it is the thought that knowledge, culture, and wisdom can disappear almost overnight, leaving only fragments for future generations to wonder about. Throughout history, tales of vanished cities, forgotten empires, and sunken lands have fascinated explorers, scholars, and dreamers alike.
People connect to that story, and it's because of this idea of an ancient civilization, a utopia, that we've evolved from.
Atlantis, however, holds a special place among them. Unlike other lost civilizations, it is tied to a story written by one of the greatest minds of the ancient world, a story that blends imagination, warning, and possibly memory of events long past. The story of Atlantis begins with a Greek philosopher named Plato. Writing in the 4th century BC, Plato described an island far beyond the known boundaries of the ancient world, beyond what he called the Pillars of Hercules, what we know today as the Strait of Gibraltar. According to his account, Atlantis was no ordinary land. It was a realm of incredible beauty, wealth, and sophistication. Palaces shone with gold, temples rose higher than the eye could see, and harbors could accommodate hundreds of ships. The people of Atlantis, Plato claimed, were powerful and wise, possessing knowledge that seemed almost magical to those in the ancient world. For centuries, this depiction has sparked both awe and skepticism. But beyond the grandeur of its architecture and wealth, the story of Atlantis carries a deeper fascination. It is not just a tale of riches and glory. It is a story of ambition, ingenuity, and ultimately, vulnerability. The idea that a civilization so advanced, so seemingly invincible, could vanish entirely strikes a chord with us. It makes us question the fragility of human achievement and the forces, natural or otherwise, that can erase even the most magnificent societies. In a world where we measure progress by technology and innovation, the story of Atlantis reminds us that no civilization, no matter how great, is immune to the forces of nature or the consequences of hubris. Atlantis also represents a bridge between myth and history. It is a symbol of humanity's curiosity and desire to explore the unknown. Whether it existed or not, the very idea of a lost world beneath the waves challenges us to look beyond the familiar, to imagine what might have been, and to consider the mysteries that remain hidden beneath the oceans. From explorers searching for sunken ruins to scholars studying ancient texts, the legend of Atlantis has inspired generations to dream, to investigate, and to hope that some secrets of the past can still be uncovered. As we begin our journey into the story of Atlantis, it is important to remember that this is more than just an old myth.
Here we have authentic legends of lost lands that were destroyed in cataclysms. Mainstream historians, still pretty much reject this, feel that it's all myths. But it would seem, really, that all kinds of civilizations could have come and gone on our planet. We know that there are over 200 known submerged cities in the Mediterranean. There's just so much on our planet that we have yet to find out.
In the Native American indigenous teaching, there are cycles of destruction and rebirth. The interesting part is that this is parallel to other great world teachings. In the story of Noah, the sons of God came down to earth and they were teaching the humans evil ways, and God decided to intervene and brought this great flood. In the story of Gilgamesh, the Sumerian legend, the Council of Gods brought the flood.
It is a tale that has shaped the way we think about history, human achievement, and the mysteries that lie just beyond our reach. In the chapters to come, we will explore Plato's account in detail, examine theories about where Atlantis might have been, and consider the evidence, both ancient and modern, that continues to fuel this enduring fascination. Atlantis is a story that connects the past with the present, blending imagination, history, and mystery in a way that few other legends ever have. To understand the legend of Atlantis, we must first meet the man who told its story. Plato, one of the greatest philosophers of ancient Greece. Living in the 4th century BC, Plato was not just a thinker but also a teacher and writer who explored questions about knowledge, morality, and society. His works often blended fact, philosophy, and allegory, making them rich sources of wisdom as well as mystery. Among his many writings, 2 dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, contain the first known accounts of Atlantis. It is here that the story of the lost city takes shape, mixing history, imagination, and possibly fragments of forgotten reality. Plato described Atlantis as a vast island beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. According to him, it was a land of extraordinary size, far larger than any contemporary city or kingdom known to the Greeks. The people of Atlantis were said to be mighty and powerful, skilled in both warfare and governance, yet their civilization was also advanced in ways that went beyond mere military strength. Plato spoke of cities filled with gleaming palaces, intricate canals, and temples that seemed to touch the sky. These structures were not only beautiful, but also carefully planned and built with precision, showcasing knowledge of architecture and engineering that astonished even ancient observers. The wealth of Atlantis was legendary. Gold, silver, and precious stones were abundant, filling temples and homes alike. The harbors could accommodate hundreds of ships at once, making trade, travel, and communication effortless. Plato described advanced irrigation systems, public baths, and marketplaces, indicating a society that valued both practicality and aesthetics. The Atlanteans, he claimed, were wise and educated, with knowledge of astronomy, navigation, and governance that rivaled anything in the ancient world. To Plato's audience, Atlantis represented an ideal civilization, a place where human potential seemed limitless. The more we explore Plato's account, the more vivid the picture becomes. Atlantis was not just rich, it was majestic in every sense of the word. Imagine palaces covered in gold and ivory, walls adorned with colorful mosaics, and temples filled with statues of gods and heroes. The streets were carefully laid out, lined with buildings that reflected both beauty and function. Bridges and canals connected different parts of the city, allowing ships and boats to move freely. Every aspect of the city, from its architecture to its infrastructure, spoke of a civilization that had mastered the art of urban planning. The Atlanteans themselves were as remarkable as their surroundings. They were not merely wealthy, they were intelligent, skilled, and cultured. Education and knowledge were highly valued, and citizens were trained in sciences, philosophy, and the arts from a young age. They were also master craftsmen, creating tools, sculptures, and works of art that were both functional and decorative. Their society balanced strength with sophistication, demonstrating that power could coexist with learning and creativity. One of the most impressive features of Atlantis, according to Plato, was its harbors and waterways. These were not simple docks, they were enormous engineering feats, designed to accommodate large fleets and facilitate trade and defense. Ships could easily enter and leave, connecting Atlantis to other lands and civilizations. This level of engineering, combined with the island's abundance of resources, allowed the Atlanteans to thrive and maintain their power for generations. Yet, despite all of its wealth and knowledge, Atlantis seemed almost too advanced for its time. For a civilization existing thousands of years ago, its technology, architecture, and societal organization were extraordinary. Historians and archaeologists have long debated whether Plato's account was purely fictional, an allegory to teach lessons about morality and governance, or whether it was based on actual events and societies now lost to history. Regardless of the truth, the story captures the imagination because it presents a civilization that reached heights of achievement and sophistication that continue to inspire awe today. Plato's account of Atlantis paints a world that is rich, beautiful, and advanced, offering a glimpse of human potential at its peak. Through golden palaces, colossal temples, and sophisticated harbors, Atlantis represents both a historical puzzle and a timeless symbol of human ambition. Its people, culture, and knowledge continue to intrigue us, leaving questions that remain unanswered to this day. The grandeur of Atlantis is a reminder of how extraordinary human civilization can be, and how fragile such achievements may turn out to be. The story of Atlantis is not only about its grandeur and achievements, it is also a tale of sudden and unimaginable loss. According to Plato, the glory of Atlantis came to an end in the blink of an eye. In just one single day and one single night, this magnificent civilization was swallowed by the sea, disappearing forever beneath the waves. The thought that a land so vast, so rich, and so advanced could vanish so quickly is both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Plato's account emphasizes the dramatic and sudden nature of this disaster. One moment, Atlantis was thriving, bustling with activity, full of life, and overflowing with wealth. The next, it was gone, its palaces, temples, and harbors destroyed, its people lost, and its streets emptied of laughter and work. The catastrophe was total, leaving no survivors to tell the tale. Such a sudden collapse suggests a natural disaster of enormous magnitude, one powerful enough to reshape landscapes and erase civilizations. Scholars and scientists have speculated about what could have caused such destruction. Some point to earthquakes or massive volcanic eruptions as plausible explanations. The shifting of tectonic plates could have caused the land to sink rapidly, while tsunamis could have swept over the island, drowning everything in their path. Others have suggested that a combination of natural disasters, volcanic activity, earthquakes, and flooding might have combined in a single catastrophic event, explaining Plato's description of total annihilation. Yet no conclusive evidence has been found to confirm these theories. The mystery remains, leaving room for speculation, imagination, and the enduring allure of Atlantis. The suddenness of the collapse also serves as a powerful warning. It shows how even the most advanced and seemingly invincible civilizations can be vulnerable to the forces of nature. Atlantis, with all its wealth and wisdom, could not escape its fate. Its story is a reminder that human achievement, no matter how great, is fragile when faced with the raw power of the natural world. For centuries, scholars, historians, and explorers have debated whether Atlantis was real or simply a story created by Plato. Some argue that the tale was purely allegorical, a moral lesson rather than a historical account. In this view, Plato's story warns that greed, corruption, and hubris can destroy even the greatest societies. Atlantis, in this sense, is a symbol rather than a place, a reminder that human ambition must be tempered with wisdom, justice, and humility. Others, however, believe that Plato's account contains fragments of truth. They argue that the story might preserve memories of an actual civilization that existed long ago, one destroyed by natural disaster, before leaving any written records. If this is true, Atlantis represents a forgotten chapter of human history, lost to the sea, but still echoing in myths and legends. These scholars point to possible archaeological evidence, ancient texts, and geological anomalies as hints that the story may not be entirely fictional. The debate is far from settled. Some critics dismiss the idea of a sunken civilization as impossible, noting that no definitive archaeological evidence has been found. Yet the fascination persists. The possibility that Atlantis was once real keeps explorers diving into oceans, researchers studying ancient maps, and dreamers imagining what might lie beneath the waves. Whether myth or forgotten civilization, Atlantis continues to capture the human imagination, inspiring stories, theories, and quests that span centuries. The question of where Atlantis might have existed has fueled speculation and exploration for centuries. While Plato described it as beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the exact location remains unknown, giving rise to several popular theories. One of the most discussed theories places Atlantis in the Mediterranean, linking it to the island of Santorini. Santorini, known in ancient times as Thera, was devastated by a massive volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. The eruption destroyed large parts of the island and triggered tsunamis that affected nearby civilizations. Proponents of this theory argue that Plato's description could be a memory of this event, passed down through generations. The similarities between the catastrophic destruction of Santorini and the fate of Atlantis make this a compelling possibility. However, critics point out that Santorini does not match all of Plato's geographic and structural descriptions, leaving room for doubt. Another theory suggests that Atlantis lies in the Caribbean, particularly near the Bahamas. Here, divers and researchers have discovered unusual underwater formations that resemble walls, roads, and pyramids. Some believe these structures could be the remnants of a lost civilization. While intriguing, skeptics argue that natural processes like erosion and coral growth could explain these formations, and no definitive artifacts have been found to prove they were man-made. Still, the Caribbean theory continues to inspire treasure hunters and explorers, searching the deep seas for traces of the lost city. A more controversial theory places Atlantis beneath the ice of Antarctica. According to this idea, the frozen continent was once green and fertile, capable of supporting a thriving civilization. Shifts in climate and massive geological events could have buried the land under ice, erasing all visible evidence. While some scientists dismiss this theory as highly unlikely, others point to ancient maps and theories about shifting continents as intriguing hints. If true, this would place Atlantis in a location almost impossible to explore, keeping its secrets locked away for eternity. Each of these location theories has its strengths and weaknesses. The Mediterranean theory has historical plausibility, but does not perfectly match Plato's description. The Caribbean theory offers fascinating underwater evidence, but lacks definitive proof. The Antarctica theory is speculative but captures the imagination, suggesting a civilization hidden beneath a frozen wasteland. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between these theories, or perhaps it will never be fully discovered. What is certain, however, is that the question of Atlantis's location continues to drive exploration, debate, and wonder. The mystery of Atlantis has inspired countless explorers throughout history, from the earliest sailors and scholars to modern-day divers and archaeologists. Humanity has long been drawn to the idea of discovering this lost civilization. The story of Atlantis, with its golden palaces and advanced society, is a tantalizing challenge. Could a civilization so magnificent really have vanished without a trace? In ancient times, explorers and historians tried to match Plato's description to known lands. Some examined the Mediterranean islands, comparing ruins and geological events to the story of Atlantis. Others searched along the coasts of Africa, Europe, and even the distant Americas, hoping to find clues that would confirm the existence of the lost city. Maps were studied, myths were compared, and legends passed down through generations were scrutinized in the hope of discovering the truth. With the advent of modern technology, underwater exploration added a new dimension to the search. Divers have reported seeing strange formations beneath the waves, what appear to be walls, pyramids, and streets. In places like the Bahamas, sonar scans have revealed underwater structures that some believe may be the remains of a forgotten city. Certain artifacts, such as unusually shaped stones or ruins resembling human construction, have sparked excitement and speculation. Could these be remnants of Atlantis, buried for thousands of years beneath the ocean? Despite these discoveries, skepticism remains high. Many scientists argue that natural processes, such as erosion, coral growth, and shifting seabeds, can create formations that appear artificial. Without clear evidence, these discoveries remain inconclusive, leaving the story of Atlantis in the realm of legend rather than fact. Yet, for every skeptic, there is a believer ready to interpret the faintest clue as proof that the lost civilization may yet be found. This tension between doubt and hope has fueled the search for centuries, keeping the mystery alive and drawing people to the oceans in pursuit of answers. The search for Atlantis is not merely about uncovering physical artifacts. It is a quest to understand human history and the fragility of civilizations. Each expedition, each sonar scan, and each dive into the deep sea represents humanity's longing to connect with the past. The allure of Atlantis lies not only in its material wealth, but also in the knowledge and culture that may have once existed. Even if Atlantis is never found, the exploration itself teaches us about curiosity, perseverance, and the desire to uncover the unknown. Beyond physical searches and archaeological theories, Atlantis has come to symbolize something far greater than its supposed location or wealth. It represents lost knowledge, a civilization that reached extraordinary heights and yet vanished, leaving only echoes of its existence. The story of Atlantis reminds us that human potential is vast, but also that it is fragile. It is a mirror reflecting both the brilliance and vulnerability of societies, teaching lessons that remain relevant across millennia. Philosophically, Atlantis invites reflection on the rise and fall of civilizations. Its story illustrates that no empire, regardless of power, wealth, or knowledge, is immune to decline. Societies may thrive for generations, building magnificent cities and accumulating wisdom, but arrogance, greed, and mismanagement can hasten their downfall. Atlantis serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating that progress and prosperity must be balanced with humility, wisdom, and respect for the forces beyond human control. In a broader sense, Atlantis embodies human ambition. The desire to explore, create, and achieve greatness is a central part of what it means to be human. Yet, the tale also warns that ambition unchecked by ethics and foresight can lead to disaster. The Atlanteans, according to some interpretations, became proud and greedy, turning their abilities and wealth towards selfish ends. This moral dimension of the story elevates Atlantis from a simple legend to a lesson in human behavior, urging reflection on how power and knowledge are used in our own world. Moreover, Atlantis symbolizes imagination and inspiration. Writers, artists, and filmmakers have drawn on its story for centuries, creating works that blend fact, fiction, and philosophy. Its influence is seen in literature, movies, and even video games, demonstrating that the allure of lost civilizations transcends time. The story of Atlantis continues to captivate the human mind, reminding us that the past, even if partly imagined, holds lessons and possibilities that are valuable today. Atlantis also challenges our perception of history. It encourages us to think about what might have been lost to time, civilizations, knowledge, and achievements that vanished without a trace. It raises questions about the limits of historical knowledge and the gaps in our understanding of the past. In this sense, Atlantis is more than a city. It is an idea, a symbol of curiosity, wonder, and the enduring quest for understanding. Finally, the tale of Atlantis teaches timeless lessons about ambition, greed, and wisdom. It reminds us that societies rise and fall, not only due to external forces, but also because of choices made by individuals and communities. It is a call to reflect on our own civilizations, values, and priorities, urging us to build with foresight, govern with justice, and seek knowledge responsibly. The story resonates because it connects the distant past with the present, offering insights that remain meaningful today. In the end, whether Atlantis was real or imagined, its power as a symbol is undeniable. It embodies the eternal tension between human potential and human vulnerability, between curiosity and caution, and between knowledge and wisdom. Through its story, Atlantis continues to inspire exploration, reflection, and imagination, leaving a lasting imprint on human culture and consciousness. Even thousands of years after Plato first told the story, Atlantis continues to captivate the human imagination. The legend has left a lasting mark on books, movies, and even video games. Writers have used the story as a backdrop for tales of adventure, mystery, and discovery, imagining worlds filled with sunken palaces, hidden treasures, and powerful artifacts. Movies have brought Atlantis to life on the big screen, portraying it as a lost utopia beneath the waves, teeming with wonders and secrets waiting to be uncovered. In video games, players explore underwater cities, solve ancient puzzles, and uncover lost knowledge, all inspired by the enduring myth of Atlantis. But why does Atlantis continue to fascinate us? Perhaps it is the blend of myth and possibility, the idea that somewhere, hidden beneath the ocean, a civilization once thrived and then vanished. The story reminds us of the unknown, the mysteries that still lie beyond our reach. Humans are naturally curious, drawn to questions that challenge our understanding of history, geography, and human achievement. Atlantis taps into that curiosity, offering a bridge between the past and the imagination, between reality and legend. The search for Atlantis also reflects our hope. The possibility of discovering a lost civilization, of uncovering knowledge thought to be gone forever, inspires explorers and dreamers alike. Even when evidence is scarce or uncertain, the idea of Atlantis encourages us to look deeper, think critically, and question the boundaries of what we know. Its story teaches that human curiosity is relentless, and that the desire to uncover the unknown is a fundamental part of our nature. In the end, the question remains open. Atlantis may have been lost to the sea, but its story endures. It is a mystery that refuses to be solved completely, a legend that continues to inspire generations. As long as humans dream, explore, and seek answers, Atlantis will remain alive in our imagination. Perhaps one day the ocean will reveal its secrets, and the line between myth and reality will blur. Until then, Atlantis will continue to whisper to us from the depths, inviting us to wonder, to search, and to imagine what lies hidden beneath the waves.